think all of this is meant to create a reconciliation vehicle in which every single priority of the Republicans can be put into one bill and passed. I think they're banking on this by a 2 or 3 vote party line margin. What's your plan to stop that?
We're willing as House Democrats to find bipartisan common ground with the incoming administration and our Republican colleagues on any issue whenever and wherever possible in order to make life better for the American people, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living. But at the same period of time, it appears that our Republican colleagues aren't really serious about lowering housing costs. They're not serious about lowering child care costs. They certainly are not serious about lowering health care costs or bringing down the cost of groceries. We've not seen a single plan since the election. What they do want to do, Chris, is to pass massive tax breaks for billionaires and wealthy corporations. And then they want working families and middle-class folks and the poor, the sick, and the afflicted to pay for it, saddle us with trillions of dollars of debt, and at the same time cut things like Medicaid or nutritional assistance for children and families and veterans benefits. We're not going to tolerate it. The votes will not be there for this type of scheme on the Democratic side. And we believe that we're going to have to take this fight to the public domain, make sure we can win the battle for public sentiment. And the reality is, if we're successful in that endeavor, then I don't believe with their narrow Republican margin, they can pass anything close to what is being discussed by the Speaker or by House Republicans.
I mean, on the upside, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, personally and their companies would probably pay a lot less in taxes. So there's always that on the other side of the ledger. I want to ask you about relief for the folks in California. Obviously, Governor Newsom saying, and I think this is proved to be true, this is likely to be the most expensive natural disaster, climate disaster in the history of the country. I've already seen multiple Republicans, both in the Senate and the House, say, well, we got to see what we're going to get back from these Californians. Well, we're going to put some strings attached. We're going to tell California how California should govern itself, because we don't like the way California does it. Of course, nothing like that for the folks in North Carolina or in the Southeast who were hit by disasters earlier this year. Nothing like that in Texas after the freeze, as there should be, right? You should get relief. What is your position and the caucus's position on strings attached to disaster relief to California?
We had a discussion about this today in the House Democratic Caucus, and the consensus position, I think it's fair to say, is that we do not support conditioning any aid to everyday Americans whose lives have been wiped out as a result of extreme weather events, and in this case, in California, by these raging wildfires. Homes have been destroyed, schools have been destroyed, small businesses have been destroyed, churches and synagogues and mosques have been destroyed or are in harm's way. And it is unconscionable that Republicans are suggesting imposing right-wing partisan conditions in order for California taxpayers to receive their tax dollars. California is one of those states, in fact, that sends about 5 times as much to the federal government every year than they get back in return. And so we've got to be there for the people of California. We will be there for the people of California, just as we have been for others across the country.
That is the social contract, in my view. Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama should look up that ratio for his state. It might be interesting. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, thank you very much.